When was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror and asked if you're truly living the life you want? Not the life others expect from you, not what seems right to society, but what genuinely resonates with your soul. Carl Jung, one of modern psychology's most profound thinkers, left us with a lesson few dare to follow. Choose yourself, even when everything pushes you the opposite way. You live in a world designed to distract you, keep you trapped in routines and endless obligations that seem unavoidable. From the moment you wake up, you face external demands. Work, family, social norms, all dictating how you should behave and what success looks like. But here's a truth many refuse to acknowledge. Whenever you prioritize others over yourself, you tell your inner self it doesn't matter. You ignore that quiet voice deep within your subconscious trying to guide you toward authenticity. Jung believed our connection with the unconscious isn't optional but essential. Yet so many people silence it because facing it feels uncomfortable. That unease you feel when something doesn't sit right? That's your soul speaking, showing you something needs to change, even if change terrifies you. Think about it. How many recent decisions came from true authenticity versus fear? Fear of disappointing others, stepping outside norms, or breaking from the familiar. Jung urged us to contemplate this because decisions not rooted in inner truth create chaos. The further you stray from yourself, the more lost you'll feel. But let's clarify, choosing yourself doesn't mean rejecting others. This isn't about selfishness. It's recognizing that to give your best to the world, you must first be at peace with yourself. This is self-love's fundamental principle, a concept Jung explored deeply. Self-love isn't a luxury but the foundation for authentic relationships. When you prioritize yourself, your energy shifts. You attract people aligned with your essence. The universe seems to respond to your truth, removing what no longer serves you and bringing what you need to grow. But first, you must confront your shadows, those suppressed, ignored parts of yourself. Jung described shadows as hidden aspects of our psyche, containing what we'd rather not acknowledge. While uncomfortable, true transformation begins in this confrontation. When you integrate your shadows, stop fighting them, and accept them, you unlock unexpected inner power. Integration doesn't happen overnight, but requires courage and commitment. What you gain is invaluable: clarity beyond illusions, renewed purpose, and inner peace so profound that external chaos can't shake it. You gain the ability to say no without guilt or fear of judgment. But most importantly, you gain freedom to be who you truly are. Wondering how to begin? Start by listening to yourself. When you feel discomfort or emotional surges, pause and ask what your unconscious is trying to tell you. Jung believed the answers you seek externally already exist within. You just need courage to listen and determination to act. One of life's hardest challenges is following our intuition, especially when it leads down an unfamiliar path. Maybe it's a dying relationship, a draining job, or a dream you've chased simply because it seemed right. Jung reminds us that ignoring these signals denies our essence. Choosing yourself means having courage to release what no longer resonates, which isn't easy. We cling to the familiar because change terrifies us. Better the devil you know, we think. But Jung challenges us to see change as a doorway to authenticity. So what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What relationships or habits do you maintain out of fear? You might feel letting go would be a loss, but the real loss happens when you sacrifice inner peace just to hold something meaningless. The choice is always yours. Perhaps the most important question now is, are you ready to truly choose yourself? Choosing yourself isn't selfish, but an act of profound love and respect for who you truly are. Society has conditioned you to believe putting your needs first betrays others, but the opposite is true. When you decide to choose yourself, something magical unfolds. The fog clouding your vision lifts, and you see with clarity. People who genuinely support you stay, while energy drainers fade away. This isn't coincidence, but reflects your internal transformation, an alignment between inner and outer reality. Jung called this synchronicity, the mysterious connection between your thoughts, emotions, and life circumstances. When you live aligned with truth, your world shifts to mirror that transformation. The universe seems to respond by reshaping your environment. This process demands radical honesty. Sometimes choosing yourself means acknowledging uncomfortable truths about your past. Perhaps you've made choices that weren't truly you, allowed boundary violations, or said yes when you should have said no. This isn't reason for self-judgment, but an opportunity to recalibrate and choose differently going forward. Jung believed authenticity isn't a destination but a journey, continuously learning and evolving into your truest self. You'll face resistance, moments of doubt when old habits tempt you back to comfort. But remember, growth never happens in comfort zones. The most profound transformations happen when you step into the unknown. The world won't always understand your decision. Some will criticize, question, or distance themselves because you no longer meet their expectations. This hurts, but when you choose yourself, you stop seeking external validation. Your worth isn't defined by others' opinions, but by your self-belief. This doesn't mean isolating yourself. When you choose yourself, relationships evolve unexpectedly. You stop chasing approval and seek genuine connection. You no longer settle for shallow interactions, but crave soul-nourishing relationships. The right people stay not because they need you, but because they value you exactly as you are. As you live authentically, your world transforms. This isn't magic, but the interplay between inner and outer worlds. Jung spoke about how our psyche projects our inner state outward. Live in internal conflict, attract external conflict. Reject yourself, encounter rejection, but choose yourself, fully accept who you are, and watch people and circumstances shift accordingly. This transformation isn't overnight, but requires patience. There'll be days when you feel backward steps, moments when old tendencies resurface. The real test is staying firm in your choice, even when uncomfortable or lonely. We glorify sacrifice, but at what cost? What happens when we pour from empty cups? What happens when we give so much we lose ourselves? Choosing yourself isn't selfish but necessary. Only when whole and aligned can you truly give from abundance rather than depletion. Dare to choose yourself daily, in small decisions and big moments. Watch your life transform unexpectedly. Jung taught we cannot give what we don't possess. If you sacrifice your happiness, energy, or peace to please others, what you offer isn't authentic. Eventually, that imbalance manifests as exhaustion, dissatisfaction, or emptiness. Consider your current relationships. How many inspire and uplift you? How many drain and confuse you? Jung invites this reflection because relationships mirror our internal state. Those we keep close reflect our beliefs, values, and emotional patterns. If you allow boundary violations, it's not because they're bad people, but because part of you hasn't learned self-protection. Setting boundaries isn't selfish but self-loving. Jung believed our unconscious constantly guides us toward well-being, but we ignore its signals. That exhaustion after certain interactions isn't coincidental. It's your unconscious saying the relationship misaligns with your essence. Ignore these signals and you'll pay with inner peace. Choosing yourself means setting boundaries not as walls but as bridges to healthier relationships. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you say yes to your truth. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off, but being honest about which relationships nourish or drain you. Living authentically strengthens your intuition. That inner voice guides with greater clarity. You make choices that not only make sense, but feel right deep within. Jung described intuition as our purest connection to the unconscious, that gut feeling when something feels right or wrong. Hear it, silence external noise. Release approval seeking, detach from expectations. Trust yourself. No one else truly knows what's best for you. When you choose yourself, you tell the universe you're ready for alignment, and it responds. You attract people and opportunity resonating with your truth. Challenges become stepping stones for growth rather than endless struggles. You begin experiencing what Jung called synchronicity, seemingly random, yet perfectly timed events. These aren't coincidences but reflect inner alignment. When you're in harmony with yourself, doors open effortlessly, right people appear at perfect moments, and everything flows once impossibly.
In deep alignment, you find not just fulfillment, but profound peace, knowing you're exactly where you belong. When you honor your truth, the universe seems to conspire for you. Opportunities arrive effortlessly. Right people appear. Everything flows once impossibly.
This doesn't mean a challenge-free path. Some greatest obstacles arise when you choose yourself. The world, accustomed to your people-pleasing version, resists transformation, testing your commitment. External expectations push against you, pulling toward old patterns. Here lies your power. Every time you reaffirm your decision, prioritize peace over demands, you strengthen connection with your true self. Stay steadfast, even through uncertainty. Fear when leaving the known is natural. But remember, every time you stay in joyless situations, you close doors to transformation. Jung taught that change creates resistance, not a mistake sign, but proof you're moving forward. It's friction between old and new, tension between who you were and are becoming. Overcome resistance through self-reflection. What do you truly value? What matters most? What life do you want? With value clarity, decisions aligning becomes easier, attracting resonant people and circumstance. Remember, you're not alone. Though choosing yourself initially feels solitary, you're forging a path that naturally draws the right supporters, those embracing you exactly as you are, because they too live aligned with truth. When you reach this point, something forever changes. Decisions once overwhelming bring clarity. Most importantly, you discover peace, independent of circumstance. As Jung taught, true peace comes only from within. The natural result of honoring needs, respecting boundaries, living aligned with values. This peace becomes shareable. Living authentically inspires others. Your courage becomes a beacon for those still searching, creating ripple effects beyond yourself. Imagine releasing everything that doesn't serve you: draining relationships, misaligned commitments, unwanted expectations. Picture that freedom, lightness, clarity. This isn't unreachable but fully possible, with willingness to choose self. Making this choice shows you're not losing by releasing misalignments, but making space for what matters, crafting a purposeful, joyful life. That's transformation worth embracing. This is Jung's gift. Realizing transformation begins when we stop searching externally for what's always been within. Living authentically rather than as conditioned, something extraordinary unfolds. You feel truly alive, untrapped by expectations, unbound by society's demands of who you should be. Instead, you hear that inner voice whispering something greater awaits if you pursue it. This liberation feels like weightlifting, allowing full, deep breaths perhaps for the first time in years. Attaining this freedom requires confronting external pressures and internal fears. Jung reminded our greatest enemy lies within. That voice whispering, not good enough. What if I fail? What if I disappoint? But this voice isn't truth. It's echoes of past experiences, absorbed conditioning. Every time you confront fears, you dismantle limiting beliefs, clearing space for new growth. That's choosing yourself's power, breaking invisible chains, binding you. Further along, priorities shift, validation chasing, worth proving. People-pleasing lose their grip. The urge to compete, compare, conform fades. Instead, you find fulfillment simply being yourself, discovering your true power. This power isn't control or dominance, but deep connection with your inner being, that part, always knowing who you are. It's silent, yet unstoppable. When aligned with yourself, nothing derails your path. The beauty, this transforms not just your life, but others. You become a living example of authenticity, inspiring by being. Your presence encourages others to question beliefs, challenge fears, step into truth. Jung understood that individual transformation creates ripple effects. When we live authentically, relationships change, communities change, the world changes. This journey isn't linear. Some days you'll feel strong and empowered, others filled with doubt. These doubts aren't failure signs, but growth opportunities, chances to deepen self-connection, reflect, learn. Each challenge invites shedding old layers and stepping into something greater. When uncertain, remember, you're not alone. Though authenticity initially seems solitary, you'll find supporters. The more you embrace yourself, the more you align with resonant others. The journey becomes not struggle, but homecoming. Books, conversations, videos reaching you at perfect moments aren't coincidences, but confirmation you're on the right path. Every decision, every challenge overcome, led here. And though the future seems uncertain, as long as you choose yourself, you're building a truly worthwhile life. Your greatest gift is being unapologetically you, not others' expectations or a created fit-in version, but your purest essence, the real you when no one watches. Jung revealed life's true work isn't searching outside but unraveling mysteries within. When you embrace yourself, you realize everything sought has always been within. This is your call to action. Life's too short for external validation traps, ignoring desires, silencing dreams for others' expectations. Take that first step now. Confront fears, acknowledge shadows, listen to intuition. Reconnection with your true self awaits. When you choose yourself, you transform more than your life. Your energy shifts, perspective expands, your presence inspires others. Now reflect on what you've heard. Which aspects of your life align with authenticity? What can you release for greater truth? What's holding you back? Remember, every small step matters. Every choice for your true self is victory. You're not alone. This space exists to remind you of your potential and guide your self-discovery. If this resonates, extend its impact. Share with someone searching for answers or facing challenges, someone needing clarity. Every interaction matters. Comments, likes, shares, help this message reach more seekers like you. Imagine our collective impact, a community committed to authenticity, courage, self-acceptance. I want to hear from you. What part of this message touched you? What steps will you take today to choose yourself? Every word shared matters to everyone on this journey, seeking truth and clarity. Subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss messages like this. Together we'll bring this reflection to everyone needing reminders that the greatest power lies in choosing authentic self. Thank you for being here, for listening, for joining this awakening towards self-discovery. Never forget, you're not alone. Change begins with you, and the world needs more people courageous enough to embrace authenticity. I'll see you next time. Remember, life truly begins when you decide to choose yourself.